They built machines that felt the earth tremble, held a hidden spark in jars of clay, mapped the heavens with bronze gears, and forged stone that healed when it cracked. Their colors still glow beneath jungle rain, refusing to die. We call them ancient, but their inventions whisper of futures we've only begun to reach. They measured the invisible. They mastered what we still struggle to explain. We were told they were primitive, yet the deeper we dig, the more impossible they become. These aren't relics of the past. They're warnings from a world that vanished, asking if ours will too. China, 132 CE. The Han Empire flourishes. Paper, silk, mathematics. And in its capital, a man named Zhang Heng builds a device so advanced it borders on magic. It was called the Ho Feng Di Dong Yi, Hao meaning to observe, Feng meaning wind or air, Di meaning earth, Dong meaning movement, and Yi meaning instrument. Together, the name translates as an instrument for observing the air and detecting the movements of the earth. Zhang Heng's seismoscope, the earliest known machine designed to detect earthquakes. A massive bronze vessel, taller than a man, encircled by 8 dragons. Each dragon held a bronze ball in its mouth. Beneath each, a toad waited, mouth open, ready to catch it. When an earthquake struck, even hundreds of miles away, one dragon's ball would fall, landing in its toad's mouth with a single resonant clink. The direction of the quake was revealed instantly. No gears, no electricity, just balance, geometry, and a genius we still struggle to grasp. The impossible secret seems to be a complex inverted pendulum, so perfectly balanced it could feel the first whisper of a ground wave and know its direction, centuries before modern seismology. What's certain is that it worked. Historical records show it detected a distant quake that wasn't even felt in the capital and proved correct days later when messengers arrived. Zhang Heng didn't just build a machine, he built an ear for the earth itself. A device that listened to the planet breathe and spoke before it screamed. But to listen to the earth is one thing. What about harnessing its power? Fast forward 2 millennia to 1938 in the dust of Baghdad. Archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig unearths a small 2,000-year-old clay jar. Inside, a copper cylinder wrapped around an iron rod sealed with asphalt. Koenig proposed a radical theory, giving it a sensational name, the Baghdad Battery. The idea, if filled with an acid like vinegar, it could produce a small voltage, a spark, from a world we thought was dark. Now, this is a fringe theory. The archaeological consensus is that it was likely a ritual vessel for sacred scrolls. There are no wires, no texts, no devices found to use this power, and yet, the object exists. Modern replicas can generate around 1 volt. The lost technology here is not the battery, it's the purpose. Was it a ritual trap for a priest to give a divine shock to a non-believer? A lost medical device for electroacupuncture? We have the impossible machine, but the manual is lost. A simple spark, found, and then forgotten. But this next exhibit is not a spark. It is a galaxy. A machine so complex, it shatters our entire timeline of progress. 1901, off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, divers searching for sponges discover a shipwreck. Among marble statues and amphorae lies a strange, corroded chunk of bronze. It will take half a century for anyone to realize what they've found. Inside, X-rays reveal gears, 37 of them, carved with the precision of a 19th century pocket watch. The device becomes known as the Antikythera Mechanism, a 2,000-year-old analog computer. Its creators understood celestial motion with accuracy we once thought required calculus. It even accounts for the moon's elliptical orbit through complex differential gearing unseen again until modern clockmaking. This machine should not exist. It was a mechanical cosmos, capable of predicting eclipses, mapping planetary motion, and tracking the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games. Who built it? Some credit the school of Archimedes. Others suspect it came from a lost scientific tradition erased when libraries burned and empires fell. The mechanism stands alone, No earlier prototype, no successor for 1,000 years. It appears like a fragment of a future that somehow slipped backward through time. They didn't just watch the heavens, they simulated them. A machine of impossible genius, like Lost to the Sea. But what about a technology that conquered the sea? Across the Mediterranean, another secret sleeps in plain sight: Roman concrete. 2,000 years ago, the Romans built harbors that still stand today. Their seawalls resist storms, salt, and centuries of decay. Our modern concrete crumbles within decades. The secret? Lime, volcanic ash, and seawater. But the lost recipe wasn't just what they used, it was how. Inside the mix, scientists recently found lime clasts, tiny reactive grains. When cracks form, moisture seeps in. The lime dissolves, recrystallizes, and seals the wound. Their buildings weren't static, they were alive. The Romans didn't chase speed, they chased permanence. Their mixture wasn't just chemistry, it was philosophy. To build something meant to join the flow of eternity. Today, engineers study their recipe, hoping to copy it. But the truth is harder to imitate. Their ambition wasn't profit, it was legacy. And that's what still holds their empire together, one healing crack at a time. A stone that lives, a philosophy of permanence that was also forgotten. And this amnesia was global. Deep in the rainforests of Mesoamerica, the Maya created a pigment that outlasted their empire, Maya blue. It covered murals, idols, and sacred texts. When the Spanish conquered their cities and burned their libraries, the color refused to fade. Centuries of sun, storm, and humidity, and it still shines, brilliant and defiant. For decades, chemists failed to replicate it. Then, under microscopes, they discovered something astonishing. Maya blue is a fusion of indigo dye and a superclay called palygorskite, bound together by heat in a process that creates molecular interlock. Organic and mineral, spirit and earth, perfectly fused. That fusion required a level of chemical mastery few thought possible without modern tools. Yet somehow they achieved it. It was more than color. It was belief made tangible, a hue that represented sacrifice and immortality. Even now, archaeologists uncover temples whose paint glows with the same unyielding blue. Not paint, but memory. A pigment that refuses extinction. 5 inventions, 5 worlds, 5 enigmas. A machine that listens to the earth. A jar that hides a spark. A computer that reads the heavens. A stone that heals itself. A color that lives forever. If they were so brilliant, why didn't it save them? This is the final, terrifying truth. Their genius did not save them. Their impossible achievements show us not just that we can rise, but how we can fall. Their knowledge was lost, not in one way, but in every way. Some knowledge is abandoned. The lost formula for Roman concrete wasn't a secret. It was a philosophy. When the empire that believed in eternity fell, the ambition to build for it died too. Some knowledge becomes a distraction. The lost recipe for Maya blue was a marvel of ritual chemistry, but it couldn't save a civilization from a monster it didn't understand, catastrophic drought. Some knowledge is destroyed. The ghost of the Antikythera Mechanism proves that. An entire universe of understanding can be broken, that a library can be burned, and 1,000 years of progress erased in a single night. And some knowledge just fades away. The lost seismoscope. The lost purpose of the Baghdad mystery. They are ghosts, proof that genius, without a civilization to sustain it, will vanish like a footprint in the rain. Progress is not a straight line. It is a fragile cycle. Knowledge is not permanent. It is a flame, and it can be put out. Their ruins are not trophies. They are tombstones, monuments to the one eternal monster, the architect of lost worlds, human fragility, the belief that we are the exception, the belief that our world is the one that will last forever. We are the children of the survivors. A civilization with amnesia. We walk through the ruins of these impossible worlds, and we call their makers primitive. We rediscover their lost nanotech. We rebuild their lost computers. And we stand on the shoulders of giants and pretend we are tall. The lost world is not a mystery. It is a mirror, and its silence is not silence. It is a question for our world, our digital networks, our progress. If their knowledge could be erased, why do we think ours can't?